everyone. It's Allison Sullivan. Oh, there's something. I'm getting an echo. This is Allison Sullivan with Stamp Crazy with Allison. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in New Westminster, British Columbia, on the west coast of Canada. So I'm going to, I should have checked, although I'm going to wait for people to pop on because usually they're my eyes and ears. But I guess I could have checked to make sure that I was live on my Facebook page. So hopefully I'll wait and someone will pop on and confirm they can hear me, and then we'll be good. So today, as you can see, good morning, Keisha. Good morning, Leanne. How are you? So can you guys hear me okay? Can you let me know so I don't have to start up my iPad and figure it out? I'm assuming if you couldn't hear me, you'd let me know. Okay, so today we're going to use the Peaceful Gardens Suite Collection, specifically the Peace on Earth bundle that's part of it. I have a class on this beautiful suite from the Mini Catalogue. So you'll be able to find it on Wednesday in my store. Or if you're a regular customer of mine, you would have received this one in the mail. This is the Mini in the mail. Okay, all good. Thanks, Keisha. Appreciate you guys being my techno advisors. Thanks, Leanne. Okay, so let me hide myself. And I'm just going to move this over so it's in front of my workstation so I can see you guys. Okay, so the bundle is part of the suite. Let me show you the other products. We've got, the ribbon is gorgeous. The ribbon is Misty Moonlight, and it's a 1/2 inch. It's silver edged. It's quite soft, so it's actually quite easy to tie. Sometimes ribbons can be stiff, but this isn't. Can you see the little silver? Oop, maybe it's a little too close. Let it focus a bit. I'm not sure. Anyway, these little kind of filaments on the side are silver. In my class that I'm doing on October 2nd, which is a Thursday. Usually I don't do a Thursday. Hi, Mo. I don't usually do Thursday night classes, but I am in October. It was just the available times that we had. It's at 4 p.m. Pacific time, so it's a good time for our East Coasters too at 7. Okay, so with the class, you get 1/2 a roll of the ribbon, so that's about 5 yards. You need that. You also get a full pack of the Hues of Blue flowers. Those are really pretty elements. And you get 1/2 a pack of the Designer Series paper, which is gorgeous. So you can see it does. I'm going to bring back the stamps in a minute, but you can see that these are beautiful for Christmas, but they're also beautiful for other occasions. Like you can use them for winter birthdays. You can use them. There's a sympathy sentiment. Look at those. So you get 1/2 a pack. So you get all of these papers. There's 6 designs. Sorry, what are they? 6 12 by 12. And they're double-sided, so I guess 12 designs, right? Now, what's not part of the class is the coordinating glimmer paper here. Look at this, isn't it gorgeous? Beautiful, so pretty. And years ago, our glimmer or glitter used to flake off, but they don't anymore. So that's a bonus. So that's the class. We're going to make 8 cards, 4 designs, 2 of each. So you get all of that, and you get a PDF with the instructions, and then we craft together on October 2nd, and you can watch the replay if you can't join live. Okay. If you don't live in Canada, you can purchase the PDF and still craft with us. It doesn't fall off, so no mess. I was happy too. Hi, Ellie. I think what happened, Keisha, was years ago when it used to flake off and it was kind of everywhere. I think there is a import law in, I'm going to say the South Pacific. Could have been Europe, but I think it was South Pacific, where they couldn't import it because of that flaking off. So the product, they sourced out a better product, and we all benefited. Yay! Okay, so remember I was saying that there's different sayings here. So, we've got heartfelt prayers, which that could be for so many different occasions. Maybe someone is going through a hard time or they're not well. And I think that's I like that sentiment. And then we got big hugs for a good friend, also very generic. We've got the Peace on Earth and the Peace, Love, Joy, which we associate with Christmas. We've got sympathy. All the best in your new adventure is kind of a neat one, right? With the doves, that's kind of like you're flying, you know, maybe it's for grad, like you're flying the coop, you know. Although I don't think doves live in coops, but you know what I mean. Wishing you love, sending love. And that goes nicely together, doesn't it? Sending heartfelt prayers, wishing you heartfelt prayers. So there you go. Lots of different things. It's not just for Christmas, okay? So, and these are the dies. So there is also an embossing folder, which we're going to use today. So let's get started on our actual card. And I thought, oh, I'll put my stuff somewhere where I can find it. Here it is. Okay, so here's all our little bits. So I've started with a base of basic white, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I've grabbed a piece of our two-tone, what's it, two-tone cardstock. Now, this cardstock is not the same weight as cardstock. It's heavier than DSP slightly, I think, but it's not something I would use for a card base, right? It's just not. Now, this is Cloud Cover, on sale, by the way, on sale. During the sale that ends today. Oh my gosh, is it today? Is the 31st? Yeah, it ends today. So you want to go grab some of that. So one side is kind of the true color, and the other side is a lighter version. So I don't know if you can see it, but this is the sort of the truer color, and this is the lighter version. Okay, so let's run that through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss in the embossing folder. And there's so many ways to use the double-sided two-tone. I'm just making sure I've got that kind of centered. Oh, it's crooked. This paper has white core, meaning that it is a white piece of paper that is dyed. And so either side, and so what you end up with is the middle, between the two colors, is just white, which is different than our regular cardstock, which is dyed all the way through. There is no white core. If it's real red, it's real red from the top to the bottom. Okay, so I've run that through. Here we are, and you can see already, I'll just hold it up for you, that because I'm using this white core paper, I'm already getting the white showing through, but we're going to make it really show through. I'm going to grab a sanding block. This is one that we used to sell. Wish we would sell it again, but you could just use regular sandpaper, like a really fine sandpaper, or I'm thinking you could even use like a like an emery board. That would work. So I'm just going to take it over because I want to expose that white core on some of it. I'm not going to make it so that the whole thing turns out white, but I wanted to add a little bit of contrast, and I love our two-tone paper for this. Just be gentle, because, you know, if you go too hard at it, you might rip it, but I find that it's pretty resilient if you're gentle. Okay, and so just do it to however you want. Okay, and you will get a bit of paper flying off, so just do that. So here we go. Okay, now for this, I am going to go ahead and glue that on, because you know me, I like to glue stuff on as I go. That way I don't lose it on my desk. When you're running this through the embossing folder, you're going to want to decide which side, the light or the dark, that you want to be the embossed side, so that you can do this technique. So I use the dark side. Okay, or what I call closer to the true color side. Okay, now I want to grab some of these dies. So we've got these labels, and as you can see, one label fits inside the other label. Okay, so on my original card, I used this color of glimmer paper, and that's going to be my dark side. And then I've got Secret Sea. Secret Sea is going to be the smaller. So that's the one that I'm going to add my sentiment to. So let's run these through. You can use your mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Both of these will fit through that. I've just gotten used to having my regular size Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Ooh, crack. By my work table on a little kind of trolley, so it's just a little bit easier for me to use that. There we go. Okay. Let's put those back on so we don't lose them. Now, the other thing I want to cut, just set those aside for a sec. The other thing I want to cut is some of these, I don't know, leaves, boughs, I'm not sure what you'd call them. And I'm going to use Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to cut a few of those. Actually, I'm also going to cut one of these little, I would call it an olive branch. It's not really an olive branch, but I'm going to pretend it is. It's just a smaller branch because I'm not sure if I'm going to put a dove on here or not. So I'm going to go ahead and have the pieces in case that's what I want to do. Okay. So what I did ahead of time was, stick that out, is I cut a few more of these so that we weren't sitting here, whoops, cutting out stuff. Okay, so I got a few of these. Can you see? All right. Put everything back so nothing gets lost. Then I'm going to cut out a couple of, whoops, I'm going to cut out a dove just because I'm not sure I'm going to put one on. I may or may not. If you don't use something like that you've cut out, or you've cut out more than you need, just put them in a little Ziploc and keep them with the stamps. And then making a card, you can go, oh look, I've got some of those doves cut out. So you can play around a little bit with them. Okay. The little dove is stuck to my tray. I always think that's the time where I need to invest in some new plates. All right. Okay, so that's what we need so far. Now, I want to stamp this with a sentiment. So I've chosen Peace on Earth, which I chose Peace on Earth. Here it is, Peace on Earth. And I'm going to use embossing powder because back to using it. You know, I used to use it on every single card and then I stopped for a while. Well, I'm back. I'm going to use that. I could have used a white piece of this and it might have been a little bit, I don't know, less dark, I guess. But we're going to go ahead and do it like I did. I'm not going to change too much, although I am going to ask your opinion on something at some point on this card. So Peace on Earth. And remember, you want to use your embossing buddy so you can get rid of all that oil from your fingers that's going to transfer to your paper and maybe make your embossing powder stick where you don't want. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay. Put that back. And I could have done that. I was just thinking I could have done that in silver. Wouldn't that have been pretty? That would have been pretty, but too late now. We're committed to the white. But silver would have been pretty. Let's heat set that. You'll see why I thought silver in a second, you guys. Other than silver kind of reminds us of Christmas, doesn't it? Silver and gold. So we'll just let that heat up, and as it heats up, I might as well start down here at Earth. It's going to melt that powder, and then the chemical reaction will happen, and then it'll rise up. I think that looks pretty good. And here's where I'm not sure which. Ooh, that's hot. Hi, Debbie from Michigan. How are you? Oh, thanks for sharing it too. I really appreciate that. Really. Okay, so remember, you guys, you can catch up later, Debbie, with just watching the replay. Okay, so that was the glimmer paper that we used, right? So this is going to go on here. Now, my question is, I have this in my stash. Should we use this one, which is the Secret C or close to? Now, my sister pointed out to me that this has sort of a green tone, but I think it looks kind of silvery. And you know what? I think I'll use the silver just to show you the two different choices, because my original card had the Secret C. So I'm going to use this color, which I think looks kind of silvery, but it also picks up, it's looking green in the real world. Not green, that's not, it's not, it is sort of greenish, but it's picking up that cloud cover a little bit, which I like. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and glue down our sentiment. Okay, there we go. Okay, oh, I didn't want to do that. So I use white glue. So look at this, I can pull this off. Ha ha ha. I just set that aside for a sec. I forgot. We've got all our little, I don't know what you want to call these. What are we calling these? They're kind of like branches, I guess. Branches. So I want to put some of those on. Sorry. And I am dotting my glue on because I'm a white glue girl. But here's a little tip if I got everything out here. So I kind of want it to sort of stick out from the edges. If you grab your silicone mat, and you put a little bit of white glue on there. You can even add a little bit of water, spritz a little water on there, and it'll dilute it a bit. But if you take a sponge and just add that, you can easily get the glue on there, which is kind of nice. So I wanted to use, oh, I don't even know how many I used originally. Just kind of going around this, because most of this is going to be covered up. Oop, wrong side. I want to do the correct side. So by doing it on the silicone mat, you're getting it on the piece versus, you know, where you want it on the piece versus everywhere, like a mess. And then when this dries, you can just rub this off. Yeah, it's a little more subtle, isn't it, Debbie? Yeah. So, you know, it depends what we want. I'll show you both, right? I'll show you what they both look like when we're done. And then you guys will go, oh, I'll make mine with this, or I'll make mine with that. Okay, so now I just have to find out where this layers in. So this, of course, on that embossing folder, there's a section inside the frame that we can stick our piece on here. So kind of fun. It's like letting you know where to lay it. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. Now I am going to grab a piece of that beautiful ribbon we talked about. Remember, I did say to you guys that it's not hard to tie. It's quite a soft ribbon, so it's not it's not that it's not bulky, but it's not so bulky that you can't tie it in a nice bow, because you can. So let's trim that off. Now I am going to use my mini glue dots, and I'm probably going to add, one would probably be fine, but I'm going to add two. I'm going to just put that at the top like that. Oop. Okay, here it's got a little bit of glue on it. Now the question, I'm going to be adding some of those gorgeous, here we are, hues of blue. Is that what they're called? Hues of blue. Who names these things? I don't know, you guys. Sometimes I wonder, why hues of blue? Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but okay. I'm going to grab the white ones, and I'm just going to put one on either side like that. Okay, now that's kind of how I had my card. Now, my question was, I don't know if I need a dove. I think sometimes you can go overboard, but I don't know whether I'm going overboard. And I'm actually thinking I'm going to take these off. See? I'm going to show you two different ways to make this card. I'm going to take these off. There we go. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. Little dove. Maybe bend his little wings a bit so it looks like he's actually in flight. I don't know. All right, sometimes I like my new card better. Sometimes I like my original card. So there's that card. Okay, and then here was the original. So you can see this one has the darker glitter and this one has lighter, and I like the lighter. That's just me. I like the lighter because then it feels like it's a little more uplifting. And I might have chosen to do that in the silver just to really emphasize that, tie into that glimmer. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me show you some other cards using the Peaceful Gardens. So that class is, what did I say? October 2nd. Now these are, I never show you the cards from the class because we like to keep them sort of secret. So I made this card. You like the dove edge, Marilyn? Oh, hi, Marilyn, you snuck on there. Didn't see you, kid. Yeah. Yeah, it looks nice, doesn't it? I think you're right. I think it's a little more finished. Yeah. You like the darker one, but you like the bird on the lighter, but I love them both. So I could have the darker Keisha and have a bird. Like if these weren't here, I could have, ooh, grab my bird. I could have a bird, right? Okay, gotcha. So kind of a combination. You like it with the dove? Yeah, me too, Ellie. I think so too. Okay, so here's one we did together. Remember, that's the fault line cards. And there's that glimmer paper. And again, I think that lighter one, the silvery one, the sort of greeny, would be good. We made this card on Wednesday. We took all those little scrap squares. This one had the embossing folder on the back, and this one was plain. So again, you can decide, do you want to go with more elements or do you want to go with less elements? I really liked making this card. So simple. So go back and watch my replay of that so you know how to make it. And then a couple cards that my sister Mo sent me. She's on this call. Hi, Diane. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you, friend? Hope you got your mini catalog in the mail. You should have had it by now. If not, let me know. Okay. Isn't this gorgeous? My sister Mo is on here. I think she might be on, I don't know, it's her full name that's on here. Yeah, it is. Morag. Okay, we're Scottish, and that's a very Scottish name, but we call her Mo. Anyway, my sister Mo made this card. Isn't that gorgeous? I like the white doves. You know, I got to start using the white for the doves. And then this card here I showed you the other day, which is like a wow, because are you ready? Because here it is. Wow. And remember I told you about that's saying the peace, love, joy. It was all in one line. Mo just stamped it and then cut it apart, which I love. Isn't that pretty? So that's sort of like she called it a double Z fold. Isn't that cool? I don't know. And then she's cut it somehow. I don't know how she did it. Anyway, I'll have to take it apart and figure it out. Or Mo will tell me. I also like the way she added some color to those doves just to give it a little bit of definition. I thought that was pretty. All right. So that's our card for today. Now I have 2 more cards cut, ready to go to show you using this same suite. So we'll continue on. Let me bring this back. We'll continue on in the next week or so. I'm showing you some more. It is a pretty card, isn't it, Marilyn? Yeah, Mo, I'm very lucky. My sister sent me a bunch of stuff. Actually, my sister Ellie sent me some gorgeous cards using a totally different suite, but I'm sort of focusing on my Peaceful Gardens. And once the catalog launches on Wednesday, I'm going to show you a bunch of cards going through the catalog and showing you some samples. Okay, so make sure you join me then. So that is at 2 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday. Gosh, Wednesday the 3rd. It's the first day of the new catalog and the new online exclusives. Woohoo! If you're not on my newsletter, please sign up. The links are here on the video, and you will get a free 12-page tutorial just for signing up for my newsletter, and we'll keep you all informed about what's going on and all things Stampin' Up. All right, you guys. Really nice to see you all this morning. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and you have some creative time before I see you again on Wednesday. Thank you guys so much. Bye for now.